Hi everyone, Dr. Orna Isaacson here. Today I want to talk about a staple of my kitchen that is very useful in these interesting times. This is a way to take fresh produce and preserve it while also getting more benefits from it than just eating it straight. So today I want to talk to you about sauerkraut. This is basically a fermented cabbage, and when you ferment a cabbage or other foods, the bacteria that do the fermenting create compounds that are beneficial for our digestive tracts, which also helps support our immune system and our digestion. So it also increases the availability of certain vitamins, including vitamin C, vitamin K, and iron. So I just got 2 big medium-sized cabbages in my weekly veggie box, and yesterday I got the fermentation process started to make my sauerkraut, and I'm kind of in the midpoint and I wanted to show you what I've got. So I took the cabbages and I sliced them thinly. I actually have a Cuisinart with fancy attachments, but I couldn't figure out how to make it work, so I just used a plain old knife. You don't need anything fancy to do this. So I sliced it thinly, put all of that into a big bowl. I also grated a small red beet because I wanted to get some color in there, because we know that the colors in vegetables have their own nutritional benefits. So I put all of that in the bowl. I poured a bunch of salt on it. You want to really have it feel gritty, so you rub it all together. And what the salt does is the salt helps pull liquid out of the vegetable, which you're going to need because the fermentation process, you want to keep the vegetables under a layer of liquid. So I let that sit overnight, and then just now I pulled it all out of the bowl and put it into a jar, which I'm going to show you. So here is the jar with the cabbage, and it was a green cabbage because red cabbage wasn't available. It's what I prefer to use, but you go with what you've got. And some beets in there. And then I took my tamper and I squished and squished and squished to make it as small as possible, and you can see that there is liquid in there, and I am trying to keep the vegetables submerged in the liquid because that's part of how the preservation process works and how the fermentation process works. And what you're seeing on top here is a baggie filled with water, and I'm doing that to help prevent any cabbage or beet from rising up above the surface of the liquid where it could mold instead of ferment. And there are all sorts of tools that people use to keep the vegetables down. You can use a really well cleaned rock from your garden. There are little glass things that fit inside wide mouth jars. I had some of those and they actually kind of fell apart, which scared me. But using a baggie filled with water is a nice DIY thing that most of us have at home. You can really use any clean plastic bag for this purpose and just push most of the air out, and then it's really flexible and will fit whatever shape you need. And then I am going to keep it covered with a napkin like this, and then leave it on my counter, checking a few times a day to make sure that all the vegetables are submerged, and looking for the little bubbles and tamping it down every day and tasting it. I'll probably start tasting it in a couple of days. I'm not good at just waiting. I want to see what's going on. And after a few days, depending on how warm your house is, it'll start to shift in flavor from salty to sour. And you can let it go for really a very long time. This is an old way of preserving vegetables. You can add almost any vegetables you like to your ferment. I've seen it done with peas, I've seen it done with carrots. People do it with lemons, people do it with garlic. Really, you could use the beets is a standard one. You could really use just about anything. So let me know what you like to ferment. Give me a message in the comments, and let me know how this works for you. If you know somebody who has been wondering how to do this, it's super easy. And so you get your vitamins, you get your probiotics. Sauerkraut has as much, if not more, probiotic bacteria in it as yogurt. So for people who can't do dairy or don't want to do dairy, this is a great way to get those benefits using your vegetables. So please do like, save, tag, share, and let me know what's working for you. And I hope that you are staying home, staying safe, staying well. Bye.